Hello everyone, my name's Sean, and in this video I'd like to close out our Fund 4 funding from Project Catalyst on Cardano. We got $50,000 worth of ADA to develop Littercoin, which we have since launched into production on mainnet this year on 420. And we've done a ton of other stuff for citizen science and open source, so we're going to dive into that in this presentation. So I am a plastic pollution researcher from Ireland. And for the last 15 years, I've been studying plastic pollution and how to collect data using citizen science pretty much independently. And what I found in my experience so far is that traditional systems really discriminate against open source technological sustainability, because this types of literacy really makes their monetary and other paradigms redundant. So after 15 years of applying elsewhere, I got my very first funding to develop citizen science and data collection monitoring tools for plastic pollution from Fund 4 on Cardano. So I'd just like to take a moment to thank the 285 million ADA holders who voted for our proposal Littercoin mass adoption, which we're going to dive into in this presentation. I'd just also like to point out that Open Litter Map is a global open source database of the world's litter and plastic pollution that is endorsed and recognized by the Digital Public Goods Alliance. This is an organization endorsed by the United Nations Secretary General, who are tasked with finding and identifying open source digital public goods that can accelerate the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. Not only does Open Litter Map cover all of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, we transcend them. I have a blog post about that I will link in the comments. So I'm going to jump between this presentation and the website just for a little bit. So if you visit openlittermap.com and click on the Littercoin tab, you'll be brought to this web page. This is a public interface for Littercoin. Anyone can see this page without needing to create an account. And what Littercoin is, it's a new type of zero waste currency created through the production of real world geographic information. That can be observations that people can be made. It's the recordings that people do. It's what they see, what they're experiencing in the real world around them. So unlike other currencies, which are created pretty much fictitiously, Littercoin is actually created by very real people who are collecting very real data about different real products from real companies that are found polluting and rotting in a very real environment. So Littercoin has its roots in empirical geographic foundations. I hope that hopes to give it some credibility. So currently you can see that 175 Littercoin have been minted. So what happens is when you use our app, you're earning Littercoin. You're out there picking up litter, making observations, quantifying your impact, and we owe you Littercoin. So there's a database table that increments. And when you're ready, you can mint your Littercoin. So I'm going to give you a quick look at how that works as well. So currently there's 175 Littercoin out there in the real world. And we also have a smart contract that accumulates ADA. So there's 1,300 ADA in this smart contract. That gives every Littercoin a value of about 7.5 ADA or $2 and a bit each. However, if you hold Littercoin, you cannot just send it to the smart contract to get the ADA out. To achieve this, we've introduced a new concept to the crypto world called a merchant token. This is a real merchant token on mainnet, and only the people who hold this merchant token can accept Littercoin from the community and send the Littercoin to the smart contract and get the ADA out. So our plan is to greenlist and identify merchants in the climate economy, and anyone who's interested can get a token from us, which has an expiry date of 12 months. And we're going to send them that merchant NFT. Anyone who holds this token, you need this token to send Littercoin to the smart contract to get the ADA out. But this is our public page where you can see the value, you can see the source code, you can click on the address, and anyone can actually come in here and add ADA to the smart contract. So let's test this. If I want to add 10 ADA to the smart contract and increase the value of Littercoin, let's see if this works. So it's going to prompt me for my password. It's going to ask me for my 10 ADA plus a small fee for the transaction. So I'm going to put in my password. And that was successful. It was broadcast to the network. So now you have an ID and you can see that transaction in the blockchain history on mainnet in production, right? So as that is getting verified, another thing that we have is anytime someone interacts with the smart contract, well, we have a Twitter bot that is hooked up to the smart contract and will automatically tweet out any notifications when sometime someone interacts with it live. as well as sending a daily impact report and more. So let's just do a refresh. We should have this in the next few seconds. So there's one from 2 hours ago. There's a new one that's about to happen any second once the transaction gets verified by the network. You can see that OpenLitterMap, there's still work to do, right? So there's a small bug here. We haven't yet pulled the value from that transaction and sent that along with the tweet. That's an open source contribution that maybe someone can help us with. If not, we'll come to that eventually. We still don't have that transaction. We'll come back to that in a second. But if I refresh the page, there should now be 10 more ADA in this. And there is. So we've now got an extra 10 ADA, and the value of Littercoin has increased slightly. So what we're asking in particular mission-driven stake pools who want to communicate their climate efforts, their impact, and who want to see more adoption of this technology, put 1% of your staking rewards in here. And help us grow this and give Littercoin increased value and utility. And by doing so, if you put Littercoin into the smart contract, you get these donation reward tokens out. So if you put 1 ADA into the smart contract, you will get 1 reward token out, which you can use to promote your stake pool and get more delegates. Or we can identify voting proposals and we can work on a DAO, and this can help shape potentially the economic direction or the rules for the mining difficulty of Littercoin moving forward. Okay, so let's take a look actually at our mobile app for a second. Right, so this is our mobile app, and this works. It still does need a lot of work. Let's just give it a quick refresh. I'm aware that there's a few bugs and there's a lot of room for improvement. It's a work in progress. If I refresh the app, you can see that since I last opened it, we've gotten some more data uploaded from some of our super users. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to refresh this page so I know that this is going to work. Okay, so when I have the global map open, I'm going to get a live feed of real-time notifications anytime someone uses our app or mints a Littercoin or creates a team or signs up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a couple of photos from my photo gallery. And you can use OpenLitterMap to collect data on anything, not just litter, right? So there's graffiti, there's vaporizers, there's other problems here. For example, in this park, there was bird shit all over this bench. So I want to collect data on that and be able to communicate it and try and get these problems fixed and identified and more realized in society. So I've selected 2 photos from my gallery. So let's select the first one. And in this interface, I can add tags to this image. This is the Littercoin mining process. Right now, I am doing the data collection, and it's this data collection building up our database, helping to create data that's going to train an AI to make the system easier. This is the Littercoin proof of work system in action. Needs a lot of work, I'm aware of that, but just bear with me for now. So what I'm looking for is a category that relates to this object. So this is a non-alcoholic beverage. So I'm going to click soft drinks, and I'm going to scroll down here somewhere. And I'm going to find energy can, and I can change the quantity of that. Maybe, I'm collecting several in one photo, but for now there's just one. And I'm also going to tag the brand. So if I scroll down here to R, I'll be able to find Red Bull, and I'm going to add that brand as well. So now from this tag, we can deduce the material, the size, the weight, and the brand as well, who's responsible for actually creating this, and how can we include them in the conversation. So on this page, when you're using it, there's a few things you can do. I'm aware that there's a lot of room for improvement here. But one thing that you can do at the moment is if you want to hide all of these windows and actually see the image, you can just press your finger down here and hold, and everything's going to disappear automatically. That's one way to get full visibility on the image. And if you just do a single click, you actually change the screen. And here, there's an ability to toggle whether the litter is picked up or not, or whether the problem still exists. So I'm aware there's a lot of room for improvement here, and hopefully in a further fund, we'll be able to dig more into that. But this is how it works at the moment. So let's swipe over to our next image, and you can see that on here we've got bird shit on some seed that I found in the park. Or it could be where you do your exercising and where your head is next to the bar. It's another problem that I find with some of the outdoor gyms. So I'd like to report this information to the city, but I can't because they still use phones. But I just want to take a photo and add a tag. Right, so OpenLitterMap, litter is just the first application, but you can extend our application to map data on anything. So if I just go in here, and I'm going to add a custom tag. I'm going to extend our 100, 200 plus list of predefined tags. And here I'm going to write Cork where I live and bird shit, right? And I can add that custom tag, and you can use this really to collect data about anything. So if I scroll down now, you can see that both of my images have tags. This one appears to be picked up, and this one, well, it's not picked up. That just means at this time of recording, the problem was not fixed. So if I now upload my images, anyone who's viewing the global map should get real-time live notifications of any time an activity happens on the application. And if I click any live notification, I will be brought to exactly where that photo was taken, and I can see the image and its contents as well, right? So this is a lake where I walk sometimes, and here, well, slightly over there was a bench, and you can see that my tag was added, that this data was a problem or was not picked up when it was taken, and the team that I'm part of as well. You can join teams, and there's leaderboards, etc. Another thing on each pop-up is you can add your social media links, and almost like getting upvoted on Reddit, the more data that you upload, the more visibility you get in the system. Okay, so I just added a custom tag. So what I want to do now is I'm going to filter all of this data by that custom tag. So for example, I can filter all of the data by category. So these are the brands that have been identified around this area, right? Another thing that I can do, you kind of have to know how the API works for this, but I can add a custom tag, right? And I can put in bird shit there. In fact, I can add many custom tags with a comma, and I can filter now all of the data for this one tag or any photos that share that tag. So this allows you to extend our predefined list of tags. Maybe you found pavement that is difficult for accessibility and walking and wheelchairs. Or maybe there's an area that needs to be power washed, or maybe there's racist graffiti. Another example is if you're a Pike in Malawi, if you're not following him, well, you should. But he's using our data to quantify the impact he's getting from crypto donations in Malawi, among others. So let's jump back into the app, right? So if I visit my settings, I'm logged in as a user and I visit my settings, there's a tab here for Littercoin. And here you can see more information about the smart contract. And if I select my wallet, you can see that I'm due to receive 1 Littercoin. So I can put in my Cardano address and I can mint my own Littercoin. If I hold a merchant token, I can burn my Littercoin and get ADA out from the smart contract. If I'm the admin, so I have the ability to actually mint a merchant token and send a merchant token to someone else, and then publicly available, anyone can add the ADA to the smart contract. So all of the code with OpenLitterMap in the name, it's open source. This extends the OpenStreetMap project, the world's most accessible map of the world, created by over 10 million people. And on OpenLitterMap, if you click into our web application, you can see in the root directory, there's this Littercoin folder. And here you can find all of the documentation and code that we used to prototype and develop and ultimately launch a tested version of the Littercoin project. And I'd just like to give a shout out to Lawrence, who I met through Cardano for Climate, who developed the system entirely. This is it is the most professional job I've ever seen for a software project. And not only is this a huge contribution to what we're doing, this is ready to be forked and experimented with, and we encourage other people to dig in, learn, see how it works, and use this as a baseline to launch your own projects as well. So there's so much going on that everything we do is open source. So all of our Trello boards are open source. You can see what we're working on at the moment, what's next on our to-do list, the backlog of all the other things that need to be done. There's a lot, and things that we haven't gotten the time to discuss yet. That's just web, and then there's mobile, there's new tags to be added, etc. And when I got the Fund 4 funding, one of the things that one of my goals was to reduce the number of cards on Trello. What actually happened is the exact opposite, is we have way many more cards now. And that's testament to just how underdeveloped these systems are. So I didn't expect that, but there's just so much more work that needs to be done. And that's our plan for the future. Let's just check if that new tweet came in. It didn't. I'll debug that. As I said, it's not a perfect system. So let's close up quickly. So these This is some of the impact we've made beyond launching Littercoin, which was our intention with Fund 4. We have launched a weekly blog. We also have weekly community meetups. So if you'd like to help us, we meet every Friday at 6 p.m. Irish time, where we code live, we build the system with the community, and you can literally watch us and help us shape the future direction of the platform. At our peak, we've achieved almost 0.5 uploads per minute, and the global map, everything, yeah, there's tons of stuff going on. We've got a bunch of ADA remaining as well. Happy to link that in the comments, and so you can see exactly where we've spent our ADA, but significantly more work does need to be done. What I found, however, with Open Litter Map is that this project is still rooted in its academic foundations from 10 plus years ago. And Open Litter Map extends the OpenStreetMap paradigm. And many people don't appreciate that way of doing things. So Open Litter Map is too academic, and we need a better marketing strategy for society. So this is my plan for Fund 10. We're launching a new platform. This is a social intervention and called Litter Week. Litter Week stands for something, which you can read there. It stands for Location Intelligence to Transform Environmental Reporting with Everyone's Empirical Knowledge. And our plan here is to create a challenge, a new challenge for society that anyone can join, and you can retake it every week. Unlike Earth Day, which happens just one day in 365 days, Litter Week can be repeated. It's a geosocial intervention, and our plan is to teach people about these powerful data collection instruments that we carry around everywhere. And rather than pointing these instruments at ourselves, what we really need to do is teach people how to preserve their privacy and biometric security. And instead of pointing these devices at us, we need to point them away from us to the real world around them. So Litter is just the first application. There's loads more going on. And I just want to thank everybody for supporting our work. And I'd love if you could support us in Fund 10 too, please. So thank you very much for listening.